Today is exactly 2 weeks since I picked up the new iPhone 17 series alongside the new iPhone Air, and pretty much every year for the last couple of years I've always used the Pro version of the new iPhones. I pretty much just find the Pro version of the iPhone not too big and it's not too heavy, and just like the Pro Max version, it has the best features and cameras. So for this year when I picked up the new iPhones, my mind was pretty much made up on which one was going to be my daily. Just like most other years, I thought it was going to be the iPhone 17 Pro. Since I've been using both phones side by side, it's actually not an easy decision as I thought. While I do have my eSIM, since the iPhone 17 Pro doesn't have a physical SIM card slot to put in my physical SIM card. So yes, my eSIM card is registered on this device, but I've been going back and forth between these two devices, and there are a couple of things that make the iPhone Air tempting to touch pretty much every day. The first thing that people make up their mind about when new devices come out, even before they get the chance to even touch the devices, is the new color selection. And it seems like this year when it comes to the iPhone 17 Pro, Apple gave it the regular iPhone treatment. So you can see the color selection that we have for the 17 Pro. It's very limited, and according to many people's preferences, the colors aren't the best. So you do have the silver option, which I think is the best for the Pro, and then you have the cosmic orange, which is an interesting color, and of course the deep blue. But look at the color selection that you get when it comes to the iPhone 17s. So you have this sky blue, and then there's this beautiful light gold, you have this cloud white, amazing color, and you have the one that I have, which is the space black. The people's favorite color when it comes to a new iPhone is the black color, and yes, the new iPhone 17a is available in this beautiful black color. Another insane thing that the iPhone Air has, I don't know if you got the chance to look at the boxes, like this is the box of the regular iPhone 17, and then when it comes to the box of the iPhone 17 Pro, it also just has the back of the phone showing. But when it comes to the iPhone Air, the back side or the front face of the box that the iPhone Air comes in shows the side view of the phone, which is this that you see right here. Check how slim that are. It's actually so slim that my camera has a hard time to focus on it. It's about 5 point something millimeters. This device is insanely thin and is made out of titanium, so you would think that yes, being such a thin device, it will be easy to bend, but this device has survived all bend tests and scratches. So unlike the iPhone 17 Pro that I have right here, if you look closely on my iPhone 17, you can see like the back side here, just underneath the camera lens, I do have a scratch, and I had a case on this device from day one, but this cosmic orange color shows scratches, even minor ones, when you do have a case on. But this device is amazingly strong, and for its thinness, you would think it's like when you hold it in your hands, you feel like if you drop it, it's just gonna shatter in different pieces, but it's just amazing and it's indestructible at the same time. One of the reasons I always get the 17 Pro instead of the 17 Pro Max is weight. So this device, the 17 Pro, if I put it here, you can see at least on my scale, it's giving me 206 grams. Then if I put it to the side just like this, comparing it to the iPhone Air, you can see 166 grams is what I'm getting when I put it on my scale right here. So this device feels like it's a concept phone. It's so light, it almost feels like it's like a piece of glass or some sort of, you know, it feels like it has like plastic or air inside. It's just that light, and at the same time, if you are trying to balance this device, you can see, you know, it just balances really good. It's not like top heavy or bottom heavy. You would think it's top heavy because it has this camera bump on top right there, but it just feels right. And when you are holding the device, one of the things that I tend to do is my pinky usually supports my phone, so over time it ended up getting like a small dent. Like when I run my finger like this over, I can feel like the dent where, you know, usually my phone is. So this is how I usually hold my phone, just like this. So with the iPhone 17 Air, it feels much lighter, and when you are using this device, if you have a big hand, this part part of the camera, you know, your finger also supports it as well, so it even makes it lighter than it feels. It just feels like it's the right size, and you don't get the fatigue that you'd get if you have like a 17 Pro Max for say. When I went to pick up the new iPhones at the Apple store, purposely I didn't look at the models that were on display because I wanted to get my first on hands impressions with this device in person at home and just take it in. And if you are curious about the unboxing experience, it's pretty much straightforward, and here's a quick glimpse of it. For most people, what's going to be the deciding factor on whether they get the iPhone 17, the regular iPhone 17, or whether they get the iPhone 17 Pro or the iPhone Air, it's pretty much comes down to battery that this device has. And a lot of reviews online have painted this device to sound like it has a pretty terrible battery life. Like the moment you take it off the charger, use it for a couple hours, it's just gonna die. But from my experience, that hasn't been the case. And like I mentioned, my SIM card is in the 17 Pro, so for calls and messages, this is the one that I've been using, especially when I'm not at home or in studio. For other times when I'm at home on Wi-Fi and in the studio like this and recording, browsing social media, playing maybe a couple games here and there, I've always used the iPhone, and I would say I'm pretty much getting close to a day's battery life without the need for me to charge the device, which is actually pretty good. So my experience with this device when it comes to battery life has been about average. It's not like it's gonna be the worst battery life performing phone that you are going to experience if you get the iPhone Air. And the other amazing thing that I like about this device, thanks to the new iOS 26 that has this liquid glass thin, because this device is so thin and so slim, it almost feels like the UI and the operating system was tailor-made for the iPhone Air. I enjoy using iOS 26 on the iPhone Air than I do on the iPhone 17 Pro, which I actually didn't think would happen, but it just feels so good in the hands. And because of the liquid glass theme and how slim this device is, the two just go together amazingly. And another tip I would have, if you're going to be getting the iPhone Air, you know, you don't want to put a big thick case over on top of it. If you've ever wanted to get Apple Care Plus for a specific iPhone, let this be the one, because the experience and the way it's going to feel without a case it's how it was designed to be used. So get the Apple Care Plus, protect your device and use it and enjoy it. And if you want to maybe protect the back and you don't want to get it scratched and so on, you can always get like D brand skins that will protect the phone from scratches, but they won't add any substantial extra weight to the phone. Now let's talk about the camera, because unlike the Pro version that has 3 cameras, the iPhone Air has 1 camera. So the good thing about this single camera is that now it's 48 megapixel. I say like now it's 48 megapixels if we have a previous iPhone Air to refer to. This is not like an iPhone 17 Air, it's the iPhone Air, the first gen iPhone. So I don't know if maybe next year we'll get a iPhone Air 2, but the 48 megapixel that this device has is equivalent to the main 48 megapixel that the iPhone 17 Pro has. So you do have a 1x and a 2x zoom, and they work amazing whether you are using the 1x software or the 2x, but you do start to see a little bit of quality degradation when you try to zoom in past 5x, because it's now using software to zoom in, which isn't going to give you the best camera quality and video quality when you are zoomed in that much compared to the iPhone 17 Pro. So that's one thing to consider, especially if you are a person that takes pictures and videos of things far away. Then the 17 Pro is probably gonna do you more justice and be a better bang for your buck. But if you can get close to your subject or change your sitting arrangement and, you know, in your environment and be able to manage your distance, the one camera that's here is amazing, and so is the front camera that the iPhone Air has. It's pretty much as good as what's here on the iPhone 17 Pro. For users that have always wanted a bigger screen but not a heavier phone, this is also a good device because the screen is bigger than the iPhone 17 Pro. So the 17 Pro screen is 6.3 inches while the iPhone Air has a screen that's 6.5 inches. So you can see the difference right here and how big the iPhone Air is. If you thought it was going to be as small as the iPhone 16e, well, think again, because the 16e is just 6.1 inches, but this one is 6.5 inches. So you have 0.4 inches bigger than the 16e. So it falls right in between the Pro Max version of the iPhone, because the Pro Max has 6.9 inches while this one has 6.5 and the regular Pro just has 6.3. So it's a good screen size, big enough for those users that want a slightly larger screen but not a heavier device. What surprises me as well is the fact that Apple chose to give the iPhone Air the same chipset that's in the 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max, which is the A19 Pro chip, and it's a more powerful chip than what you have with the A19 in the iPhone 17, but it does have one less GPU core compared to the iPhone 17 Pro, but it's not something that you are going to notice right away from the get-go when you use two devices side by side like I've been using. But one of the things that for me personally would have been amazing is that I find the screen size a little bit on the larger side. One of the things that would be amazing would be to have like the iPhone Air 2 in a smaller form factor, maybe like the same form factor that the previous mini versions of the iPhone used to have. That would be amazing. Or if the screen size is to be big, let it be like the iPhone 16e size, which is 6.1 inches. I think that would be a really good device. And yeah, that's pretty much about it for me when it comes to the iPhone Air. You know, I like this device. I've been using it more on a daily, but it's not a perfect device. Like for example, it's because of the new A19 Pro chip that is in here and the device being made out of titanium, it means that the device gets a little bit warmer when you play heavy games like PUBG on the iPhone Air and so on for a couple of hours, as compared to the 17 Pro that seems to pretty much keep a constant steady temperature. So that's one of the disadvantages. But the biggest disadvantage for me, at least from what I've been able to experience, is the fact that the USB speeds on the iPhone Air are actually USB 2 speeds, as opposed to the iPhone 17 Pro that has USB 3 speeds. So I think that means you only get 5 gigabits per second as opposed to 10 gigabits per second, which isn't, you know, like a big deal breaker, but for me, I did notice the differences. And you know, one of the apps that I use to transfer my data from my iPhone to my Mac is this image capture app. I use it so much that I decided to keep it in the dock that you can see right here on the iPhone, the MacBook, which goes to show, you know, how much I rely on it and use it on a daily. I could use AirDrop or I could use iPhone mirroring to transfer the files, but wireless means of data transfer have always proved to be slower than wired means, which is why I rely on the USB speeds and the image capture software to be able to facilitate that. It's been said time and again that the iPhone 17 Air, it's not the best iPhone in terms of performance. It's not the best value iPhone that Apple recently released, because the iPhone 17, the regular 17, I think it's a more rounded best value device than the 17 Air. But this phone shows something bigger. It shows what Apple is able to do or can achieve if they put their resources and their research and R&D into it. They can come up with devices such as the iPhone Air that give the user, the end user like myself, so much joy, and the experience that comes with such devices is unmatched. And I hope Apple continues to do this. Like many reviewers online have been saying, this feels like a phone that Steve Jobs would have made. So this is the iPhone Air, and I hope Apple continues to make these iPhones. I think eventually what might happen, if silicon carbon batteries that are now being reproduced in like Xiaomi's latest phones or the Honor Magic Fold phone that's amazingly thin. It's like razor blade thin. If that technology becomes mainstream, maybe eventually we'll see the Pro versions of phones become as slim as these, which means you'll be able to have the option for a bigger screen and a smaller screen at the form factor of the iPhone Air. But I don't know how like stable that technology is for Apple to adopt it as a mainstream and to put it in their main devices pretty much. So I don't know how soon we are from that, and I don't know if Apple is going to be making a fold phone, but this is a really good iPhone. It's an interesting iPhone. It's something that we had not seen from Apple in a long time, and I really hope that Apple continues to innovate in this way. My name is Ben. If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.